Hello and welcome to my channel. If you're new here, thank you so much for stopping by. My name is Chisum. On this channel, I upload sewing tutorial videos and fashion related kind of contents. Today, we will be learning how to cut and sew this beautiful two-piece that I am putting on here. Yes, this is a top and a skirt and it's very easy to make and beginners friendly. If you're interested in learning how to make this, please keep on watching. Thank you. These are the items I used for this tutorial. This is a net fabric, is 3 yards. I bought it for the design on the sleeve. This is bridal satin, 4 yards of bridal satin. This is what I used to make the skirt part. Then I have this crepe fabric. I bought it in 1.5 yards. This is what I used to make the top. It's a little bit stretchy on one side, just a little bit, and is 1.5 yards. Then I have a matching thread and matching zippers. These two zippers will be used for the skirt and the top. Okay, so I'll set these items aside and let's get into the business of the day. I've cut out a fabric with the desired length of my top and I've marked a line which is going to be the shoulder line. Now from that shoulder line, I'll take my armhole length, my waist length, and then the full length of the top, which is 23 inches, and then 1 inch folding allowance. The marks I have here are shoulder line, chest line, waistline, and top length. Now this is the center front. We are starting with the front. From the center front here, I'll mark my shoulder divide by 2 plus 1 inch. I'll be adding extra 1 inch to my shoulder measurement. On the chest line, I'll mark the same figure and then connect straight from the shoulder to the chest line. I'll come in by 3 inches again from the center front. On the shoulder, I will go down by 1 inch to slant my shoulder and connect to the 3 inches I marked right there. Next, I'm going to get the midpoint between this line here. I'll measure and then mark the midpoints and come in by 1 inch. I'm going to curve my armhole with 1 inch like so. Okay, I'll use my free hand. If you want to use a curve, but this is I want to make this as simple as possible. Now I'll take 4 inches for my neck width. From the center front, I'll measure 4 inches and mark, and for my neck depth I'm using 3.5 inches, and then I'll go ahead and curve out the neckline. On the chest line here, I will impute my bust circumference divide by 4 plus sewing allowance. On the waistline, I will impute my waist circumference divide by 4 plus sewing allowance. The sewing allowance you add is up to you. On the top length, I will impute my upper hip circumference divide by 4 plus sewing allowance, and I will connect the marks like so. We are done with the front part of the top. Next, I'm going to just add allowance on my shoulder, ½ inch allowance for joining the shoulders together, and then I'll go ahead and cut it out. Please guys, if you've not subscribed to my channel, I don't know what you're waiting for. Please don't forget to hit the subscribe button and also like this video. Thank you. So this is for the back part. I am marking the center back right now because of the zipper allowance. Now I'll go ahead and mark the chest line and the waist line. So first thing I do on the back, I come in on the waistline by 1 inch. Now this is optional. If you don't want to tighten the back, is completely fine. So I'll take it to the top and then to the bottom, just like I am doing right now. Now I'll come in by half of my shoulder plus 1 inch and mark. On the chest line, I'll place the same figure and then connect with a straight line. I'll come down by 1 inch for the shoulder slope, coming 3 inches from the center back, and then connect the shoulder slope to that 3 inches mark I made. I'll get the midpoint of this armhole line, go in by ½ inch and curve out my armhole like so. From here, I will impute my bust circumference divided by 4 plus sewing allowance. You can see where I am placing my tape from. Okay, on the waistline, from here I'll impute my waist divided by 4 plus sewing allowance, and on the top length I will impute my upper hips measurement divided by 4 and connect the points like so. For the back neck depth, I'll use 1 inch, and for the width I will use 4 inches, same as the front, and then I will curve out the neckline. Now I'll go ahead and add my zipper allowance on the center back before I cut it out. At this point, I hope you guys are following. If there's anything that is not clear to you, don't forget to drop your questions in the comment section and I'll be glad to answer. Now we are going to be drafting the sleeve. Here I have 2 folds of 2 pieces of fabric for the 2 sleeves, and now I am marking my cap's height. To get your cap's height, divide your bust by 12 and add 1.5 inches. Here I'm marking my elbow line. From the sleeve head to my elbow is 13 inches, which is the line I made here. On this cap height line I made here, I'm going to impute my round armhole divide by 2. On the elbow, I will impute my round elbow divide by 2. On the sleeve length, I will impute my round wrist divide by 2, and then I'll connect from here to the angle here with a straight line. Then I'm going to find the midpoint of this line I made here and make a mark there. I'll go up by ½ inch and come up by ½ inch and connect like this. So just watch carefully what I am doing, just in case you don't already know how to draft a basic sleeve. That is why I am taking my time to explain this. So this is for the back. Now we'll curve out the front. I will still come from the sleeve head down to that ½ inch and then connect to the end of the sleeve, round sleeve mark I made there. So this is easy, guys. There is no rocket science to it. Now I'm going to connect the sides together. Okay, so that is all, guys. So I'll add 1 inch sewing allowance to the side before I cut out the sleeve. So if you have watched up to this point and you've not yet subscribed to this channel, please, what are you waiting for? Should I fry egg for you? Or should I give you cold juice? Please help me and subscribe, and also don't forget to like the video. It's really important to me, so YouTube can recommend this video to potential watchers. Thank you. Time to join the top pieces together. These are the 2 back pieces, so I'll go ahead and lay the front on top of the back pieces. I'm going to stitch close the sides with the volume of allowance I added. 1.5 inches allowance, so I'm going to stitch the 2 sides and then the shoulders. So I'm done stitching the sides and the shoulders. I also went ahead to give it a good press. Now I'll take this aside. Let's work on the sleeve design. Here I'm arranging the net in order to cut out the pieces I'll be using for the sleeve ruffles. So I'll mark this selvage out because I'm going to be trimming it off. Then I'll go ahead and measure 3 inches. The width is 3 inches, and then the length is the whole length of the 3 yards of the whole length of the yardage. Okay, so this is 3 inches that I am marking. Now I'll go ahead and trim it out. First, I'll trim out the selvage. Shebi na wetin they call am. I'll trim this off out so that I'll have a neat tip. Now I'll take this to my sewing machine and run a loose stitch on the center of the net. I'll run a loose stitch, so after that I will gather it like so. I've gathered the net. There are about 6 pieces and we're using 3 on each sleeve. So here is the sleeve. I'll open it up. First I will hem the length of the sleeve. Now I'm going to mark 3 inches from the end of the sleeve. This is because I'll be hemming it with 1 inch, so it will stay at 2 inches or it will start at 2 inches. Okay, so I'll rule a straight line on that point I made a mark. So this is where the first one is going to be stitched on, or I'll be last one. Afterwards, I'll give 1 inch, sorry, I'll give half inch and stitch the next one, and the next one after this one as well. I'll give 1 inch. So I'm just making this mark to show you guys how I'll be stitching this. Now I'll also make sure it doesn't enter into my sewing allowance on the sleeve. So I'll go ahead, I'll make sure I open it up, open the center, that place that I stitched first. That is where I'll still be running the stitch. I'll leave like 1 inch on the out of the net before stitching. So just watch what I'm doing. I'll open it up. I'll make sure I don't stitch flat the net. I'll run a stitch on the middle. After stitching the first one, I'll shift it up and place the second one on that same line I made, stitched at the center. After I'm done with this one, I'll shift it up and then stitch the next one. Make sure you gather this in a way that it will be full on the sleeve. Okay, so but before stitching, I will hem the bottom part half and then stitch, and I'll show you guys the results. I'm done with the sleeves. As you can see, the two sleeves are here and they are ready to be attached to the top. So I'll go ahead now and fix the sleeve to the top part. While fixing the sleeve, I'll make sure the front part of the sleeve falls towards the front part of the top. Okay, so I'll head over to my sewing machine now and fix the sleeve. Now I have fixed the sleeves to the top and the top is almost ready. What I'm going to do next is to pipe the neckline, which I have cut few pieces of fabric that I'll be using to pipe the neckline. This fabric were cut on bias, so it will be able to, you know, roll over as circle while stitching on the neckline. And also the hemline, I'll go ahead and hem it to give it a neat finishing, after which I will attach the zipper. This is the top after I was done hemming the neckline and the hemline. So our top is now ready. You can see how beautiful it is. Now let's move over to the skirt. For the skirt, I folded my fabric for the cutting of both the front and the back skirt. Here is the front and here is the side. The side is open because of the zipper, and then there's the zipper allowance. Now the length of this skirt is 12 inches. From the waistline, I'll mark my hip line. Now from the center here on the waistline, I will impute my waist circumference divide by 4 plus sewing allowance. Waist circumference divide by 4. On the hip line here, I will impute my hip circumference divide by 4 plus sewing allowance. Now if you want it to be a little bit free, you can go ahead and add extra half inch. So I simply connected from the waistline to the hip line, and then I'll take it from the hip line straight down like so. And this is it. We are done with the skirt. I'll go ahead and cut it out. Now I'll match the skirt, or the back of the skirt and the front together, and I'll take it to the sewing machine and stitch the side with the allowance I added. I've joined the sides of the skirts and I also hemmed the lower part. I'll open up the skirt now. I'm going to take the round measurement from one center back to the other center back on the lower part actually, so you can see the way I am going. Now whatever I get, I'm going to either multiply it or triple it and use it to cut out the volume of fabric I'll be gathering on that spot. Here is the fabric I cut out. This one is going to be the one that will complete the full skirt length. That's my full skirt length, and it will be gathered on the lower part of the skirt before the shorter one that will be added on top. I don't know if you guess what I'm trying to explain. Now the length of this is my full skirt length minus the 12 inches short skirt I already cut out. Okay, so this one is going to make up my full skirt length. When I attach it to the short skirt, and the width is times 3 of that place I measured. I told you guys that you either triple or double it depending on how much fabric you have. So here is the bottom part, the lower part. I want to curve it out. I want to give it a curve. So that side I measured, I went up by 5 inches. I want one side to be sharp, to have like a longer effect than one side. So I'll just give it this curve that you can see me doing now. Okay, so I'll go ahead and trim it out. So this is going to be the longer part. Then I'll trim it all to the side where I marked that 5 inches, which is on this side. Okay, so I'll trim it out a little bit more because I want to erase this chalk mark that I have here. So I'll keep trimming till I get to. Now note that this side that is lower is one side while the other side is another side. So I'll divide this into two, so I'll be able to slit the other parts for the back pieces, for the two back pieces rather. Okay, so I've divided into two for the front and the back. Now I'm going to divide the back into two because the back obviously has zipper allowance. So that is what I am doing right now. So I'll take these pieces aside and then we'll work on the shorter part. So this is the fabric I cut out for the shorter part. The longer one is like 10 inches longer than this. Okay, so this is 10 inches shorter than the one that will be longer. So I'll slit this into two as well for the front and the back. Now I'll keep one aside. I'm going to fold this one into two because I want to be curving the front parts upwards. Okay, so I'm using this ruler to, you can see the center front, which is the place on fold now, is going to be upper than the side. It's going to go up than the side. Okay, so from the hem I'll go up by 5 inches and then use the ruler to connect it like a slant, just like I'm doing right now. Connect a slant line like so, and then I'll go ahead and trim it out. So after this, I'll take all the pieces to the sewing machine, join them, and then gather them, hem the lower part as well before I come back. I'm done gathering the skirts. This is the lower part, which is the longer part right here. You can see how full it is. This one is the upper part, that is the shorter part. You can see how full it is as well. Now let's get the skirts to attach this. Here is the base of the skirt. This is the front part. I'll come down on one side by 4 inches. You can choose either the left or the right side. Then I'm going to take that 4 inches to the end of the skirt on the other part with a slanted line like so. I'll turn it over to the back as well, and then I'll go down by 4 inches on that same side that I marked on the front, so that this side will correspond with the side of the front, and then I'll take it from here slanted to the end of the skirt, the hem of the skirt on the other part. So this is how the frills is going to be attached, or the gathers is going to be attached. I'm making this mark so it will be easy to place the gathers. So I'll now open it up and then get the lower part of the skirt, which is the longer part of the gathers first. This part is going to be attached first, but I'll place it upwards like this because we want to hide the rough side. Okay, so this is how you place it. Make sure that this is on that mark that was made, and then I will go ahead and stitch from one end to the other end, and I'll be back. I'm done attaching the first layer of the gathers, as you can see. Now I'll get the other part and then place it just a little inch away from the first one. You can see, place it upwards as well, so that by the time we are done stitching, we'll flip it down and the rough side will be hidden inside. Okay, so I'll take it to the sewing machine now. I'm done attaching the gathers to the skirt, and this is the outcome. The skirt is almost ready. Now what is left is to attach the band and fix the zipper. So here I have folded my fabric to cut out the band. You can see that the fabric is folded in a bias form. This is to enable the band wrap grip around the waistline. Okay, so it's best to cut your band this way. Now the width of the band is 3 inches, while the length is the length of the waistline of the skirt, which I already took the measurement of. So after cutting this out, I'll go ahead and attach the bands to the waistline of the skirt and then fix my zipper, and that is all for the skirt part. And here we have it, the outcome of the dress. You can tell this is super duper beautiful. Everyone was like, oh, I love your dress, I love your dress. I don't even know it's a two-piece. The beautiful thing about this is that you can wear this top separately and wear the skirt separately and nobody's gonna know. So thank you for watching to the end of this tutorial. I hope you got value from this video as it was intended. Please hit the subscribe button if you're here to subscribe. Don't forget to like this video and share it with your loved ones, and I hope to see you in the next tutorial. Bye.